we had one goal, man. Like we came together and we experienced this instantaneous chemistry that I've never experienced anywhere else. It was like a brotherhood that I've never experienced. We had one goal in mind, and that was to make it to the Olympics. Oh, now we're moving on to the Olympic qualifier. We got a chance. Let's do it. My visualization leading up to the Olympics wasn't seeing myself get a hit. My visualization leading up to the Olympics was...
We're good. Welcome, Zach Penprase, to the Young Athletic. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Zach,
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Zach is a former Olympian, a mental performance coach, and former baseball player and coach. So thanks for coming on.
Definitely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate talking about this stuff.
I mean, we have a lot of things to talk about.
Great.
But I think just the first question is like, what is it like to be an Olympian? What is it like to go to the Olympics and play?
It's one of those things where like you see how those people like walk around when you're in the village, mm-hmm. and you can almost recognize when people are going to either a practice or a workout, or when they're going to like their performance or their game. Mm-hmm. And so you're watching kind of everybody do their thing in their routine. I mean, you're surrounded by top athletes, and whether they're amateur or professional athletes, like it doesn't matter. They are focused on getting a gold medal, and like being in that atmosphere is great. And then you bring in some baseball. I played baseball, so it's like you bring in some baseball players who kind of like nonchalant about everything, and where you don't have to have the best body or be in the best shape to be a baseball player. But being there and being around that like essence of like amazing performance is really cool to watch and be around.
So you could tell the difference between an athlete going to practice and an athlete going to perform.
Yes. Like
wow.
You could see it in their eyes, like the focus that they had was, I could definitely tell. And like, it almost turned into a game for me. I'd be like, hey man, like you think they're going to go you think they're practicing, or you think they're going to go, it's time. And me and my buddies would try to like figure out, and like, you can kind of tell, man, by the way they're walking, just all that stuff. And a lot of times either they have headphones on, and that's the only time you saw them with headphones on. You'd see them 5 straight days, and then they have their headphones all of a sudden, and you're like, wait, every time they're walking somewhere with their bag before, they don't have their headphones on. So you can kind of tell little things that you can tell like that. It was pretty cool.
Did you meet any cool people there? Any other cool Olympians?
We were kind of to ourselves. I mean, I played on Team Israel, so like we kept to ourselves a little bit. There's some kind of controversy there, so politically and stuff like that. But we met like Djokovic. Djokovic is walking around. I think he was the only one that I saw where like a couple of my teammates were like, I gotta go shake that guy's hand, like take a picture with that guy. There was some tennis players that some of my teammates knew about, and they're like, oh yeah, she's like top 10, ranked or whatever. I didn't even know who she was. But it was almost kind of a thing where I knew a couple of the baseball players that played for Team USA, and that was kind of the thing. And then we were almost looking up people. We're like, oh, who do they play for? And you'd see their country, and then you would search like, oh, they've been playing badminton for like 25 years. Huh. So there was no real like celebrities. I think some of the top guys, I know some of the coaches for Team USA baseball were staying outside the village, and there was a couple of people like that were staying outside the village. And so we didn't really necessarily hang out with too many top stars. Again, being a baseball player, we played against guys like Jose Bautista and some guys from the Dominican that were really cool. Julio Rodriguez, who plays for the Mariners now. But we're all just kind of like, we didn't really get to see guys like none of the famous gymnasts or anything like that. Everyone kind of kept to themselves because it was that weird kind of COVID, 2020. That COVID Olympics.
What I remember the most about that was I think skateboarding was the first time in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And, we were rooting for Nyjah, and he didn't win.
Yeah.
What other, like, I don't know, secret tips or things that, a common person wouldn't know about the Olympics or the village life?
So the most interesting thing about the village for me was how every piece of fruit was perfectly ripe. So I don't know how they did that, but I specifically remember like the food wasn't like amazing. There you can get like pretty much any kind of culture food. There's a big cafeteria, which was kind of weird because they had like this fiberglass thing in between tables, but you could sit next to somebody, but you couldn't sit across from somebody. So that was kind of weird. But other than that, like I really remember like every piece of pineapple was perfectly ripe. It wasn't overripe. It wasn't underripe. Every single piece, almost like somebody in the back like sorted it out. And so every piece of fruit was just perfectly ripe. And the pin trading's huge there. So you're trading pins with everybody.
Pins?
Yeah. So country pins.
Really?
Yeah, like we had our own little country pin, and we were trading with certain countries had like multiple pins. Team USA had a pin for every sport. Yeah. We just had one pin for the whole country of Israel. But I think Team USA baseball had like 3 pins just themselves. And then like, so each sport had multiple pins. So you're trying to collect all of them. Team Canada, all these big countries kind of had multiple pins. And it was like a thing. It was like, dude, I'm getting that pin. I'm getting that. Did you check out this pin? Netherlands had an actual, what are those clogs, those wooden shoes, like on their pin, hanging from their pin. So I have a whole towel of pins, which is really cool.
No kidding.
When we were when we were waiting for opening ceremonies, which nobody was at as well, we're in this big hallway going into the arena, and we were one of the first teams to get there. And so we were in this big hallway, and teams started lining up, and we would just took our pins and just walked down the hall and just trade with every team all the way down and then all the way back. So that was kind of a cool experience. It's the outside stuff that's kind of a really cool experience, you know, like you're obviously playing and you want to win that gold medal. And, you know, we won one game and we were this close to winning a game to move on to a medal game. We could have won bronze, but it's the outside stuff. You know, you're going into the player or the Olympian game room and you're playing ping pong against some other country. You know, you don't have to speak the same language. You're just playing ping pong against them, playing darts or whatever it is. And so that's the stuff that I remember really, is that being in the village and being around kind of that atmosphere was really cool.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah, that is. That's the good stuff about any sport.
I never heard about the pins though. Is that a thing every Olympics, or was it just that Olympics?
I guess it's everything. Like I think Snoop Dogg had his own pin back in Paris. So like I don't know if that's like an everything forever, but I do remember being at the Olympics in Salt Lake, and I went to Park City and did the Winter Olympics, and I remember getting some pins there, not trading them, but buying some. So I don't know. I mean, it was my first time and probably my last time being in the village, but like everybody was trading pins. So.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of us will never be in the village.
No, I know. And that's like a once in a lifetime experience, and it came out of nowhere, man, but it's really cool.
Were you expecting to get called up?
No. I mean, so I played for so long and then I retired, and then I started real life and had a kid, and 3 months in, I got an email saying, hey, you got Jewish blood, and, you know, through the law of Aliyah, you can come over, and we're trying to make a run to the Olympics. Are you open for trying that? And I was like, I've been retired for 4 years, man. Like, I don't want to get in shape. But I was
4 years into it. Retirement.
Yeah, so I was still around the game. I was giving lessons. I was throwing BP. I was hitting ground balls. So I was still in baseball shape technically, but I really had to ramp it up. And then, so I didn't want to do it at first. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna work. And you know, I have a 3-month-old, and my wife was like, what are you talking about? Like, you could possibly play in the Olympics. And I was like, oh, all right, well, let's try it. So I called them, and I was like, I'm in. And so like, you sound in, so let's get you out to Israel. Let's go through the paperwork. Let's get you, you know, citizenship. And then our first tournament is in Bulgaria.
Wow.
What? Okay. Beautiful place in Bulgaria, small little town, and with a little river running through it. Amazing food. Barely anybody lives there. And we played that tournament against like 5 other teams. Russia was like our big kind of, it was called B pool, and we were just trying to get out of B pool. We wanted to make it to the European Championships, so we made it out of B pool, went to the European Championships. Then it was like, okay, we just got to come in top 5. All right, great. So we came in 4th. So on to Italy, like a month later. I mean, it was Bulgaria. Then 2 weeks later, the European Championships, and then straight to Italy. And then we won the Italy thing, and that was the qualifier. That was the Olympic qualifier. And so we beat Italy.
You beat Italy,
Czech, Netherlands,
are these
Spain? They were good teams.
Yeah, like traditional powerhouse teams.
We were the what they call the Team USA JV team. It was a bunch of American Jewish kids. That were kind of like me. Like I had probably been retired the most, like the longest amount of time. But there was guys that had been retired from the big leagues for like a year. There was guys that were out of college that had a chance to play professionally, but really didn't get time. And so we were just kind of a bunch of scrubs that we threw together, and we had one goal, man. Like, we came together and we experienced this instantaneous chemistry that I've never experienced anywhere else. It was like a brotherhood that I've never experienced. We had one goal in mind, and that was to make it to the Olympics, and we did it.
Wow.
So it came out of nowhere. And by the time I played in the Olympics, I had been 6 years retired because COVID, they canceled it.
Right.
And then the following summer, so basically 6 years out of professional baseball, I'm playing the Olympics. So, no, I didn't expect any of that. You asked, did I expect any of it? No, I didn't expect any of it.
Yeah, I mean, retired, and then not just retired, but 4 years retired.
Yeah, 4 years retired. And I think what it showed me was I wish I would have started coaching a little earlier. It taught me parts of the game and parts of the mechanics, the mental, the physical, the emotional that I was watching 10, 11, 12-year-old kids do, that when I was talking to them about it, I was like, oh man, like I was basically talking to myself.
Yeah.
And so I wish I would have started coaching a little earlier in my career, like at every offseason. I wish I would have just coached a team, and it would have really taught me so much about it, because by the time the 4 years of retirement came around, it's like, oh, you got to go to Bulgaria and play. I was like maybe better than I was before, just based on my efficiency, how I like the difference of approach. I felt more mature, and not just because I had a kid, but just because of the coaching and the learning the game from a totally different lens. So
I was the same way. I started coaching right after college, and I got better.
yeah.
You know, I like graduated, started coaching, then went back for the alumni game,
Yeah.
and I scored a hat trick.
Wow.
And my
In
coach
an alumni game.
Yeah, and my coach was like, "Where was that last
Exactly.
year?" And I was like, I just like remembered what I was coaching my kids. I just did those things.
Yeah.
And it worked. So I know exactly what
You
you're
were
talking
like
about.
your own voice in your own head, coaching yourself in the game.
Yeah.
And you were listening too, because like you knew what you were talking about.
But it's also this weird thing where like you stop trying to win and your perspective changes and you just play looser. You play with a little bit more confidence. That's what happened to me, at least.
Yeah, you weren't.
The expectation wasn't there.
There was no expectation. You weren't focused on the outcome. It was just like, I mean, granted, obviously it was an alumni game, but like at the same time, you're right. There was no expectation. There was no outcome. It was just like playing intentionally and just going through each play. And that's cool. It is cool when you experience that. Yeah.
But, you know, I wasn't called up to the Olympic team. So I guess I wasn't.
Team
as
USA
good.
JV team.
USA JV team.
Yeah.
I mean, who else was on that team that you in touch with any of those guys still?
Yeah, I'm in touch with all of them. I stay in touch. I'm actually a guy that stays in touch with a lot of my ex-teammates, from pro ball to college to everything. So, and then from that team, we had big leaguers were like Danny Valencia, John Moscott. We had Ian Kinsler, who has a possibility of being in the Hall of Fame one day. And, guys like that. So there's Jeremy Bleish, who was kind of a couple years in the big leagues. But then we also had guys that were from Israel, like Shlomo Lipitz, and he was a big, tall sidearm guy, and he had been playing for the Israel national team since he was 10, like legitimately 30 years that he was playing. And like he said, something always happened to Team Israel. Like it was something always happened at the very end. Like they played in WBC and something would happen. Like either somebody got hurt. Somebody got hurt, or like it always took away their dream. And so it happened again. It was like, oh, we made the Olympics, COVID. And we're like, oh, here it goes again, right? And so Shlomo brought that up, and it was an experience. But, there's plenty of guys that I could name on that team. There's a current guy, Alon Leishman, who actually is the pitching coach for the Florida Marlins. So he's the pitching coach for Florida Marlins, and he worked his way up. I mean, he was ready to quit one day, and he wanted to go coach travel ball. He's like, I think, he's in the minor leagues, and he's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then he caught a break. Next thing you know, he's in the big leagues with the Reds. Now he's in the big leagues with the Marlins. Wow. And so, we had, I think the cool part about that team was, again, everybody was so focused on that one goal. And it started with just getting out of B pool. Like, we weren't like, okay, guys, we're in the Olympics. It was like, let's get out of B pool. And then once we're in the A pool, Like, let's try to come in top 5 and do something and make a name for ourselves in this European Championships. Okay, great. Oh, now we're moving on to the Olympic qualifier. We got a chance. Let's do it. And so we did. And so we started bringing guys on as the process started going. We started with a bunch of scrubs in Bulgaria. And, now we picked up Danny Valenti, Ian Kinsler, for the Olympics. We had Ryan Lavarnway we picked up for the Olympics. So we started picking up better and better pieces.
Okay.
But we still ended up with a core group of guys that started in Bulgaria. And, like, we were just playing on this random field in Bulgaria. Just
out in the sticks.
Totally, man. But that was the best team bonding, man. I mean, it was so random and yet just so amazing. Like, I'll never forget those things, no matter how much dementia I get. Like, there's no way I'm forgetting those memories.
Yeah, I mean, it's from a coaching perspective, I just think, like, how do you unify a team? And, giving them one singular goal could help do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it took care of itself. Eric Holtz was our coach, and he showed up in Bulgaria, and he's now like a father figure to me. We had similar approaches as far as I was coaching at Sports Academy, and when I came to Bulgaria, I was developing my mental stuff. I was doing private lessons. I was coaching travel teams. I was doing all of it, and then he has his own facility out in New York, in White Plains, New York, and he has maybe 40 teams in his own facility, like softball and baseball, and that guy is amazing. And so when he showed up, it's almost the best coaches I've seen is kind of the allowance to let players to be themselves, and then also guiding the core group of guys to lead from within, right? So, like, Holtz wouldn't say much. He presented what he was about. Here's what I'm about. I don't take any crap. I am who I am. There's no changing me. And also at the same time, like, I'm here to win. And so we all were there to win. And he also allowed us all to be ourselves. There wasn't like, oh, no, you can't, steal a base. I like to steal base. He's like, oh, no, you can't steal a base. Or, like, I'm going to position you every single on defense. You got to play here. You got to play here. It was like, okay, go out and play. I know you know how to play. And then I also need you to guide other guys too. So that's been, in Fargo. When I played in Fargo, it was the same. That guy kept the core group of guys to lead from within. Everything's leading from within, but the coach needs to really implement that in the core group. There has to be a core group of leaders, and if they have the freedom to lead from within, then that's really, really important to the culture and the chemistry of the team.
And that coach did a good job of developing that.
Oh yeah, it's a nurturing.
Yeah.
Right. So he didn't have to develop any of it because he didn't have time to. We showed up in Bulgaria, and it's like we have 6 games and we got to win them all.
Is that the first time you met him?
Yeah. Well, no, I met him when I went to go get my citizenship.
Okay.
So
as a player. As a player.
So I only met him like a month before that tournament. We went to go get our citizenship, and then like a month later we showed him Bulgaria. So like on field, that was the first time. But like when I first met him, I felt like we were brothers. And then when we're on the field, it was the nurturing of whatever was within us, right? And so he also was messing around with a bunch of guys that maybe didn't get their full shot or were right on the peak of their potential. And so he kind of brought that from within us just by allowing us to be ourselves.
Do you think those players reach new heights?
Totally. Some did, yes.
Yeah.
Some totally did. And I don't know if it was because, like you said, maybe it's the alumni game type of feel where it's like there was no expectations. There was just kind of like everybody was allowing themselves to be there. So maybe it was a little bit of aspect of that, but there also has to be that leader has to nurture that and has to allow for that to come out. Because if there's no space for it to come out, it's not going to come out.
I know you have your own leadership mindset coaching program and course.
Yeah.
Is this kind of how you model your own philosophy?
I definitely pull a lot of things from the coaches that I enjoy being around and the guys that have pulled the best out of me. Started with my college coach, and he allowed me to fail over and over and over again. He allowed me to be myself and kind of be that loud, fast guy on the bases and swing and be aggressive. He just allowed for it all to happen. And he didn't do that with everybody. You know, he saw different potential in different people, and then it carried on into my independent baseball up in Fargo. And so that coach was kind of the same. He kind of sat back, and he would always say, "I just like to watch you play. I just like to watch. I just like to watch you play." And that
You
was it.
specifically.
Everybody. He would say that about everybody. I
everybody.
just want to watch. I just love watching you guys play. And that was it. There was no like, we got to win or you got to do this. There was no like having to do anything. It was just like, I just like to watch you guys play. And that was it. And so whether we failed or we succeeded, he was the same. I mean, there was some blow ups. That's coaching. But for the most part, I just like to watch you play. And it was the same with Holtzy when we went to Team Israel. So I do pull some of that leadership stuff from that. And it is the basis of having the core group and leading from within. Everybody's like, we need a leader. Well, it's not necessarily Dave Roberts of the Dodgers. You know, it's there's a core group of guys that lead. There's a guy in the bullpen that's, you know, handling the bullpen. There's guys in the field that are handling the field stuff. There's guys in the dugout that don't play that much. They need to lead the dugout. So there's a core group that lead from within the team. And then the manager's kind of like he's like a pilot. He's just flying the plane, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to give them space, you know, especially at the higher levels. You know, I coach kids, so it's a little bit different. But when they become adults, you have to let them fail and try new things. Try to be themselves. Try to discover themselves.
That's the job of the coach, because also at the same time they have to deal with parents. So, you know what I'm saying? So there's an aspect of the parents want a lot for their kid. So they feel like they're helping, but it's really the kids feel
that pressure.
Yeah. And so whether the parents think they're giving the pressure or not, like, oh, I allow them to play, there has to be the space given. So that's where the coaches come in and like, maybe that's the only space they've ever been given is on the soccer field. Right. And it's like, that's where they shine, because you're just allowing for them to be themselves and play and run around and be a kid.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I'm very aware of overcoaching, you know,
Yeah.
10-year-olds, 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because it's just no fun. You don't want your coach to yell at you when you're 10 and 11.
No.
So many people will quit for that.
No. Especially at that age. That is a ripe age for kids to just get burnt out.
Yeah. Obviously, you played professional. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience there? Fargo, mostly in Fargo?
Yeah, I played most of my time in Fargo. I played 8 years there. So that's a really long time to play independent baseball.
Did you like
not
it?
getting paid much. Loved it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in Little League. Like I want all my friends to come play in Fargo with me. Like we could do whatever we wanted as long as we were winning baseball games. When I first got drafted in 2006, my experience in minor league baseball really crushed my love for the game. The business, the politics, the extra stuff really kind of ruined it. And a couple years in, I was battered. I was hurt. I was not playing. And I had to hire my own mental performance coach to kind of work through that stuff. But at that point, it was too late. I kind of realized that I didn't really want to deal with the business of the game, because I just love the playing of the game. And so I guess that's why they have agents and stuff like that. But that stuff bled over into the field.
Yeah.
It was, everybody's for themselves. The coaches are trying to make it to the big leagues. Every player's trying to make it to the big leagues. The trainers are trying to make it to the big leagues. Everybody that you come
Wants
across
to be somewhere else.
wants to be higher.
Yeah.
Everybody and so that could be the deal with businesses as well. But in an egotistical game like baseball, there's so much ego. It's just such an ego-driven game that, everybody's clawing to the top. So, and that really carries over from coaches not allowing me, like my first year, like I had the green light and I stole 60 bases my junior year in college. And then I go to, hey man, like you can't steal that much.
At the
So
pro level?
instantly I wasn't allowed to be myself, instantly. So I was like, what is this? And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't have the tools. And that's why I love teaching the tools now, because I didn't have the tools. When I hired the mental performance coach, it was too late. Like I really shined in the spring training I had with him. And I think I hit like over 400 or something like in that spring training.
Wow.
And crushed it to the point where they invited me to a big league game. And then they released me a week later because they didn't have a spot for me. So when I went to Fargo, I just loved the game again. It was like, do your thing, man. Go play shortstop every day and steal as many bases as you want. And do whatever you want and win some baseball games. That's what it was like. And I mean, that's really where I shined.
What do you think is the right balance between being yourself and having to change yourself for your coach and for your team? Because when you said that he asked you not to be yourself, or no, he didn't ask you to not be yourself.
Yeah,
he asked you not steal bases.
Yeah.
And that, that hurt.
Are you asking as a player or as a coach? Like, how are you trying to handle that?
Maybe as a player.
So as a player, I think it just comes down to controlling what you can control. Like, really, it's and also not taking it personally. It wasn't the coach coming to me as a player and being like, Zach, I don't trust you. You can't do this. It was just, hey, it's a higher level of play. Let's work through this. I still stole 19 bases, and if I would have hit actually decent, I probably would have stole 25 or 30, which is a really good season in first year of minor league baseball. But I took it personally, and I started thinking that, oh, I can't do that, so I'm not myself. There was so much more to my game that I could have, worked with. So I think as a player, from a player aspect, when a coach tries to shut you down or not allow you to be yourself, there's so many more aspects of your game that you can perform with, that you can use, that you can shine. So I think as a player, you just got to focus on what you can control and not take things personally. I took everything personally as a personal attack. Like, oh, why are you telling me that? You don't believe in me? And my brain just started piling up all these like defense mechanisms, like get all defensive and all that stuff. Like, you don't need to be defensive. You could just, and I'll have the conversation with the coach. Like, hey, like, this is my game. Is there anything else that I can do to like perform? Like, what else can I do if I can't steal bases? And have that conversation and find out where his mind's at. I had no idea where my coach's mind was at. He just came at me and defense mechanism instantly. Took it personally and was like, I shut down. So, that's the balance as a player.
Do you think if you had a mental performance coach, you could have handled it differently?
Totally. At that exact moment, my first year of pro ball, when it was short season, I think we played 64, 65 games. If I would have had one in that moment, totally would have been able to snap myself out of it. Yeah. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the tools. And neither did the coaches. It was like they would sit there and call you mental midget. Oh, why are you taking it personally? Like, oh, you don't know how to deal with it? No, actually, I don't. Like, you're a mental midget. Can you help me with that?
They say that?
Oh yeah. You just get over it. And that's how, honestly, that's how a lot of dads talk to their kids. That's how a lot of coaches talk to their players. And if you're just gonna like call them a mental midget and say get over it and toughen up, your brain instantly asks, how? Even as an adult. Yeah. Somebody tells you something, you're like, how? How do I do that? And then nobody has an answer. You look it up on YouTube, then you figure out how. But if nobody gives you a tool or a skill, then you shut down. You take it personally. You don't know what to do. So you have to, as a coach, you have to do your research or learn or do something to where give the players skills and tools so they can pull it out and use it. They need to have a tool belt. So then if you call them mental midget, which it might slip out, but if they have a tool, then great. They might go home and journal about it, and they might come back a totally new player the next day.
It's a little harsh, but I guess it's at the pro level, so maybe worse things were said. I don't know.
I mean, it's pro ball. Everyone's clawing their way to the top, and they don't need you. They don't need anybody. They can just go pick out of another 1,000 players. There's so many players that they can pick from. They don't need you. So if you can't deal with it, they don't care. They'll find somebody that can. And that's how cutthroat it is. That's the business, right? So
tough crowd. Yeah, it's challenging. Going back to your performance program and philosophy, what are some of the best tools you use for unlocking a athlete's potential?
Yeah, there's a handful of them, and the first one, it starts with breathing. Like learning how to breathe and really learning to create space in your body and your mind to, first of all, allow for you to process like what's going on in the situation and like kind of evaluate the situation, each given situation, right? And if you don't know how to breathe, coach comes to you and says, take a breath, and you do, but you breathe into your shoulders and your neck, and you're like, you feel more stressed. So learning how to breathe, I think, really was huge for me. And then using that in different situations, and also using it not just when I'm stressed. So really mastering my breath helped. That's like the starting point, really. And then kind of the powerful self-talk, not just I am statements, I'm strong, because our brain puts up barriers instantly for those. And the powerful self-talk, like I'm becoming a better player every day in each and every way, like that kind of stuff. Because there's no doubt to that. If you're showing up to practice, you are becoming better. Whether you feel like you had a terrible practice or not, that's a true statement. So using the powerful self-talk, and then you start to hop into like momentary stuff, like performance triggers, short sentences that allow you to talk to your body, to communicate to your body, to just perform, not mechanically, not, keep your toe down on the ball or, where you step. It's just like, what are you trying to do? And short phrases to tell your body to do that. For a pitcher is a good example. Instead of throwing strikes, attack the zone, because throwing a strike, there's a lot of things outside of your control on that. The umpire is the one that calls the strikes, or the batter has to swing for it to be a strike. So why not we just attack the zone? And that allows, now our body has a goal. It has an intention, like, okay, I'm attacking the zone. Doesn't matter if he swings, doesn't matter if it's a strike, I'm attacking, I'm competing. So performance triggers, external focuses, and then visualization. Visualizing not only your success, but also failing and overcoming that challenge. I think that's a big miss that is, coaches like, see yourself succeed and just see yourself succeed and see, well, that's not how the game goes. You fail all the time. You mess up. So if you're just seeing yourself succeed, and then you fail in the game, you haven't actually done it yet. So you shut down on that first mistake. So see it in your mind 10 times. Okay, I've failed 10 times. Now I fail one time on the weekend. Great, I've done this already. I've been here. I know how to overcome a challenge, because overcoming a challenge is the best feeling in the world. If I give you $1 million, you're like, great, I have $1 million. You're celebrating. But if you earn that $1 million over like 10 years and like you overcame all these challenges, that is a better feeling than just winning the lottery. So the overcoming of the challenge really steps up that resilience and that grit. So I would say, the breathing, the self-talk, the performance triggers, and the visualization is really part of the preparation to it. My visualization lead up to Olympics wasn't seeing myself get a hit in the Olympics, wasn't, seeing myself make plays. My visualization in the leading up to the Olympics was bending over and having the guy put the gold medal on my neck. That was my visualization. That's what pulled me out of bed when I had 2 kids at the time to like wake up early and go to the gym, stay late and like I was doing laps in my backyard. I was doing agility, staying in shape. I was working out with my daughter, and I was working construction. I was like getting workouts in while I was working. Yeah. So like without the visualization of feeling what it felt like to be a gold, like actually feel the gold medal get put on my neck, there was nothing that was stopping me. I wanted that gold medal so bad because I felt what it feels like to get it put on my neck. I can feel it now. It gives me chills. So it's creating that feeling of something that really pulls you, not just a simple base hit. Oh, great, I got a base hit in the Olympics. That feels so good. Not as powerful as putting a gold medal on my neck. So it's got to be something really, really far away that pulls you.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that lately. Like, you have to set higher goals.
The highest. Yeah. Why not? You shoot for the stars, you might land on the moon, right?
Yeah. I was thinking like, I run a marathon and a half marathon, and I was thinking, I'll do a marathon. I'll train for another marathon. I was like, why not a 100-miler?
That's a lot.
That's a higher goal, though.
Yeah. So how do you train for that? How are you mentally preparing for something like that?
Well, I haven't started yet, but to be honest, like one of my friends did it in college, and I was like, it's possible. He did 50 miles. That was his longest run. I remember we have a campus loop that's a mile long, and he ran it 50 times one day.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know, just lately thinking like set higher goals.
Mm.
You know, because that's what inspires people. That's what inspires yourself.
I mean, why shoot small? There's really no point. I think the reason that people shoot small is so they can achieve it. Because I've set so many massive goals that I've never reached, but like I'm going in that direction, you know, but it's scary to think. And almost when you start to talk about it, like I'm going to do this and you start telling people and then you don't ever do it, you feel like your word is not worth it. So I think that's why people like stay small, but to me, it's pointless. Like it really is. It's, you know, are you just going to like try to be an okay dad, or are you going to try to be the best dad in the world? I think Martin Luther King said this all the time. Like, if you're mowing the lawn, be the best person that mows the lawn. Like, mow the lawn better than everybody in the world. Like, no matter what you're doing, if you're writing a letter on your paper, be the best in the world at it. Like, everything that gives you pride, right? And so you take pride in all the details, but like, it doesn't matter. You're not losing your word if you aim for this super massive goal and you don't get it, because you're going to veer off somewhere and you might get another opportunity.
I also think like, you know, the reward is the person you become in the process.
Totally. That's exactly why I do what I do. Like, I care more about what my students become as opposed to what they achieve.
Yeah.
It's totally like, it's not, what is it? It's not about the destination, about the journey, right? That's the old saying. And so it's also about the company. You know, you make so many cool friends and mentors and these relationships. Like it's all part of that whole thing. And so nobody knows the destination. Everyone's still figuring it out. So, but if you aim for something and you're going in that direction, it's who you become.
And if you're doing it in a team environment, everyone has to be going in the same direction.
Totally. And if somebody's not, you learn how to pull them there. Or you learn how to squash them out. And if they don't want to be a part of it, then they're out. And so like that's a big aspect of the team, is really like, and that's why the core group's important. You need that core group that has that culture, that vision, and what the vision does for everybody. And if somebody doesn't want to be a part of that team vision, tough luck. In professional baseball, they just cut you, or they trade you, they release you. Go home. We don't need you because you don't understand the vision. You're not part of it, and you're holding us back. So it's heavy weight. You gotta let that go.
Have you always been like a core member of a team? Have you always been a leader on the team?
Yeah, I've kind of always had that, and I think for my leaders out there, it's really it can be seen as a threat to coaches. So I encourage you as a coach to see that leader, and whether you like them or not, you got to get them on your side. You have to talk to them. You have to, and again, it could come down to a kid you don't like, but if everybody on that team is attracted to them and they want to do what that kid does, you get them to buy into your vision, they will, you don't have to do anything else. So that's what happened to me. Was I didn't understand that. I I actually became a threat to some coaches because they thought they were losing their team, or they, you know, people weren't buying into them. They were buying into me, when really the lack of communication between me and the coach was really what, you know, and then I became uncoachable. Oh, well, that guy's good. He's a leader, but we can't talk to him because he doesn't listen to us. But all of his teammates will listen to him. But
was that a problem for you and some coaches?
Totally.
Really?
Yeah, totally a problem. That was my lifetime battle. I still battle with it today. I still work on it to this day. It was mostly how I said things. It wasn't what I said, because I said what everybody wanted to say, but it's mostly how I said it. So I'd rub the coach the wrong way, and then he would kind of blackball me. But then also at the same time, all my teammates wanted to go do what I was doing. They wanted to be around me, and then they would lose the team that way. It was.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a team.
I didn't know that until actually after my playing career. I really didn't realize that was a threat. But if I could have partnered up with my coach, man, we could have won some championships. And we did. I mean, we did. And so in Fargo, we did. And then we made it to the Olympics. That was a big part of that core group, kind of leading some of the guys.
What do you think people, see in your leadership style? What do they connect with?
What do players connect with?
Yeah, you've always been the leader. Why do you think they've always looked up to you?
I'm like a free will kind of like do your thing, be goofy, play the game, mess up. And then also, I think a lot of guys also respect the fact that I call people out on their nonsense. So there could be a cancer on the team, or there could be a guy that, some people don't like just because they are hypocrites or something like that. That say one thing and do the next. And then I'd call them out. And I've been in a few fights on my team for sure. And I think there's a lot of guys that really respect that. The fact that I stand up for what's right. So that's attractive to some people because they don't want to say it. They don't want to lose their spot, or they don't want to lose whatever it is. So they confide in guys like me to call it out. And so I think that's attractive to some people. And then also just kind of playing the game with no fear, like having fun and really just almost like loving the failure, like not seeing it as failure, but just like only feedback. Like everything just became fun.
You know what I've noticed? Like, I'm also a big skateboarding fan.
Yeah, me too.
And the people that get looked up to are the ones that go for the biggest tricks.
Yeah.
It's their fearlessness that everyone sort of just like bows down to.
Yeah, totally. I remember when Tony Hawk was going for that 900, man. He just tried and tried and tried and tried. And like the crowd was not giving up on him, dude. Yeah. And he just kept going because he was the guy that just wanted to just try it. Nobody even knew if he was going to do it. Yeah. They were just like, just keep trying, Tony. Like, we'll sit here all night and like until you get it. And he could have never got it, but the crowd they wanted him. Yeah. So that's attractive. Yeah. I don't care.
So you had that as a player. Yeah. What's I was just thinking about it, like fights are probably the like most popular in baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
Like what is it about fighting that you see so much of it in baseball?
It starts with ego. Next is the testosterone and the lifestyle. I think like baseball comes with a lifestyle of, there's night games. You don't really have to always be in the best shape. You can go out drinking and chasing girls, and it's a really manly testosterone type of thing. I think hockey's similar in that way. But then you go to soccer, like you can't be doing that. You can't be going out drinking. You got to be in the best shape of your life. Basketball, same thing. Like those guys are in the best shape of their life. You also probably see it, like you would see it in golf if there was more team type of stuff, but like baseball, it also involves a ball being thrown at you and you can throw it at somebody's head at 100 miles an hour. So like you're also threatening somebody's like career and life in that sense. Also hockey, like guys are like literally trying to kill you up against the boards. And so I think that whole mixture of that lifestyle and the testosterone and the ego just really creates this whole fighting thing. And then it comes to the locker room too. Like I would call people out and I would never got in a fight. I would just kind of like let them, if they were going to punch me, I'd just sit back. And then they would almost realize that they were kind of in the wrong. And then you know what happened? We became friends and the team got better. So that was a kind of a cool concept as far as like just being honest and calling people out. But the whole lifestyle just nurtures that whole fighting aspect.
What is it? I never played baseball. I've swung a bat 3 times in my whole life. And, I don't get it. Like, I play soccer, I run, I have the ball at my feet, I'm connecting with teammates. Baseball is like so static to me.
Yeah. Soccer was actually my favorite sport.
Oh, really?
I actually only played travel soccer. I didn't play travel baseball. I didn't take anything else seriously. Like, I got golf lessons. I wanted to really play golf. I wanted to quit baseball to play golf and soccer. Like I just wanted to play golf and soccer.
Really?
Yeah. I was pretty good at soccer.
So what happened?
I just got a offer scholarship to go play baseball. So if there was a team there, I probably would have tried to walk on, but there wasn't. There was only a girls team. So I love soccer in the sense of the beauty of the game, the passing, and like, one of my mental concepts is the external focus and like seeing where you want to put the ball, and that comes from a through ball. Like if you're a midfielder and you're trying to send somebody down the line, you got to know where you're kicking the ball to lead them, right? Same thing as a quarterback in football. Like you got to know where you're throwing it. You can't watch the guy and throw it. You know where you're throwing it. You know where you're kicking it down the line, and he's running to it. So that concept of the through ball, soccer was beautiful. I just didn't like running that much, to be honest. But what is it about baseball?
Because kids love it.
I think it's. I personally think it's like such a challenging game to take a round ball and a round bat and try to square it up. And the mano-a-mano aspect, right? Like in soccer, there's no mano-a-mano other than a penalty kick, right? There's none of that in basketball other than like, a point guard going up but then there's still teammates behind him, right? But the mano-a-mano of like pitcher versus hitter, it's just like, and then every little aspect of the game. As a base stealer, I'm on first base and like I'm trying to get the best jump and like pick up every little thing about the pitcher that like I'm gonna get you on this one, dude. And so and also stealing hits. So like as a shortstop, as a defender, like reading the guy's hands and his bat and seeing where he's gonna hit the ball and anticipating where that ball is gonna go. He thinks he has a hit, but I come up with a sick play and he's out at first. And I've had many guys come up to me and be like, dude, why are you robbing hits from me? And that's like, that makes you feel good. That makes you feel good. And so I kind of had a similar sense when I played defense in soccer. I played sweeper, and you see that forward run down for that through ball, and I'm beating into the ball. And when you beat him to the ball and you kick it out of bounds or you kick it back up the field, like there's no better feeling. That's kind of like the mano-a-mano. But baseball, there's just so many little aspects of it that I feel. And it's also the closest to kind of life that I feel is like how much you fail. Like you literally fail all the time, so much more than any other sport. And then you're successful at the same time. You can fail 7 times out of 10 and be super successful. So I don't know why we're so obsessed with that failure part, but I became obsessed with it. And only really in hindsight, I saw that there's so much success on the other side of the failure. But the understandings of the ins and outs of baseball, the trickery, the chess, the strategy, the approach, the mano-a-mano, there's just so much to it.
What's the secret to stealing base?
There's so many secrets to stealing bases, dude. It's the obsession with the details. I understood every pitcher's pickoff move. I understood every pitcher and when they were going to go home. I knew when they were going to go home. I got the best jump. I started getting the best jump for myself. I knew every single pitcher's tendencies. I would watch from the dugout. I became obsessed with, I thought it was really cool to almost beat a team by myself. I'd get on base, steal second, steal third, and then like a ground ball, score a run. We were up 1-0 in the first inning, like every time. That feels so good. And just killing somebody's pride because they're like, dude, we can't stop this guy. Like people be yelling, he's going to steal. And then I'd steal and they'd be like, we told you. And they couldn't stop it. So like, but it's the obsession with the details really. Like I knew when pitchers were going home. I knew their time to the plate. I got the best jump for myself. I'd watch big league games on TV. I'd be like working on my jump, my fast twitch muscles. So there's so many aspects to stealing, running in a straight line. People don't understand, like they think they can run like crooked and get there just as fast. No.
Did you do like sprinting workouts?
I would work on my speed a little bit, but it was more about the first 3 steps. So like the getting from stop to your full speed as quick as you could. That's really what I worked on the most, was like how many steps is it going to take me to get to full speed? 2, possibly 3, and once I'm at full speed, I'm gone. So getting the best jump and getting to full speed as fast as I could.
Was that your favorite part about being on offense and being on the bases?
It grew into my favorite part, yeah.
Yeah.
So in college, when I went from stealing 4 bases to 44 bases, that gap year, and when I came back, I was like, oh, I really love this. This is my obsession. I became obsessed with it. I was stealing 5 bags a game. I was beating teams by myself. Like I became obsessed with how can I score. I was like, oh, I'm gonna steal second, steal third, and I'm just gonna like run home on a ground ball. and
That's how you win.
teams couldn't stop it. Like they just couldn't stop it. They didn't know how to stop it, and it was fun. Like I would steal 20 straight to get thrown out and be like, I want more. And people are like, what? You got thrown out. I want more of that. And I'd steal 20 more. Like, can't throw me out. So like it lit me up. It was the smallest part of the game that lit me up. So if you can find that in any sport, what lights you up? Like I said earlier, as a sweeper, what lit me up was watching that through ball go and me beating that forward to that ball, not letting him touch that ball. And I took pride in that. That was the one thing I took pride in, dude. I didn't like playing defense, but I love that part. So that's the secret.
So you've always been quick because you've always been able to get.
I've always been quick. I've never been like the fastest guy on any team I've ever played on. Maybe top 5.
Did you ever do track?
No.
No.
Like I said, I didn't like running, man.
Yeah, I guess you could do sprinting.
Stealing bases is 90 feet at a time, dude.
Yeah. Huh. Very interesting that you love that small part of the game.
I mean, isn't there a small part about soccer that you love?
I enjoy a good pass.
Good passes are great, aren't they?
Like the perfectly weighted pass.
It's amazing.
Where all they have to do is like, the way I think about passing is like, your pass has to be good enough for them to play one touch, or for them to play the next pass with just one touch.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes such like precision to do that.
Yeah.
To get like the right direction, left or right, and then the right weight of the pass.
Yep.
So it like stops right in front of them.
That's the details, man. Yeah. That like it's beautiful when you watch it. You're just like, man, that was so cool. So it's the small parts, the game within the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a game out of anything, and just everything within the game. If you can become obsessed with a couple of those things, because ultimately, like, games do get boring from time to time.
Games do get boring.
Soccer, baseball. Like
Soccer's gotten boring for sure.
Yeah,
they all play the same way.
Yeah.
What's your favorite baseball team? Who's your favorite baseball team?
I grew up going to Dodger games.
Yeah.
I kind of grew away from them because the fans, the business, like they became the Yankees, where they would just buy players or they have the highest payroll. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to like now I like the Yankees because the Dodgers are the new Yankees. And yeah, I just kind of grew away from them, and I started liking players because as I grew older and more mature, I just enjoyed the game more. And so it sucked because I actually liked a lot of the Giants players. I never became a Giants fan, but loved Hunter Pence and Buster Posey and all these guys that won 3 rings in 5 years. And just the way they played and approached the game. And again, just became obsessed with everybody, like the details of how they played. Hunter Pence was this wiry guy and just, getting things done, but he was a leader of the team. He got everybody hyped up. I love that aspect of that. Like, I don't remember how many home runs he hit or what he hit. Like, I just love watching him be wiry, and, his eyes were wide like this, and then he gave this famous speech that brought him back to win this championship. And so that's the kind of stuff that I liked about players. So I started following players, and then I've come back to the Dodgers because of, I'm glad that they let Shohei pitch again. So I have to be a Dodgers fan now.
Because Shohei?
Yeah, Shohei's great. My daughter loves Shohei, and it's really fun to watch. He's just a class act. He really is.
Yeah, the international players can sometimes have better mentalities than the American players.
Yeah.
More respectful in certain ways.
Totally.
Yeah. What I keep thinking about is what your college coach, I forget what coach it was, that said, I just like to watch you play.
Totally.
Like, that's the essence of it.
Yep.
That's why we do it. I just like it.
Yeah. Because in practice, you practice and you're working on things. But like game time, it's like, I just like to watch you play. Not, I want to see you get a hit. I want to see you score. I want to see you strike these guys out. I want to see you score a goal. Just like to watch you play.
Yeah.
How freeing is that as a player?
Yeah.
There was no pressure to do anything. He was just watching us play. And that's what he did. He didn't do anything else. Sometimes he'd be on his phone, like making trades and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a certain like freedom when you don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm coaching at this club, and I'm an assistant to this coach who coaches at UCSB, and he's a great coach. But he's got total control and isn't controlling, you know? It's like what every coach, tries to be.
Yeah.
So, but I love that phrase. I just like to watch you play. I mean, that's like pro stuff. That's like, that's when you know you've made it. I just like to watch you play.
That's when you know you've made it.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
It was a good feeling.
Listening to you talk reminded me of Red Line Athletics. Do you know anything about Red Line?
I've talked to them. I talked to them a couple years ago and tried to get in with them. Something came about that they had some building issues and they lost track. We lost track of staying connected, but I should probably hit them back up. Yeah. I would love to go back over there and see what I can do over there.
Yeah. The owner has come on before, and 2 of his employees have been here. So I don't know. Everything you're saying reminds me of like their purpose and their mission.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah. Sometimes the vision is just like, let's just make better baseball players. And it's like you said earlier, it's like, what are you becoming in the process? I love watching that. It's like, well, coach, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. All right. Well, who are you now? Well, I feel like I'm a better human. I like went through a couple girlfriends and now I found the one and I'm going to treat her like a princess. I'm like, that's the cool stuff. That's the cool stuff.
That's awesome.
Better fathers, better husbands.
Yeah, better men.
Better humans, proficient human beings. Just amazing people walking around, chest out, chin up, confident no matter what, smiling no matter what, having fun all the time. And then there's frustrations. It's life. It's life, but for the most part.
Well, we'll end it there. That was a great sign-off message.
Awesome. And thanks for having me.